Welcome to the first episode of Season 9 of Bottom of the Stream. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome aboard. Here we are again. We're about to dredge the Netflix stream to carry on our never-ending quest to look for hidden gems.
We are indeed. This is going to be the 201st movie we've ever done on this show.
Oh,
what a milestone that is.
Yeah.
Craziness, isn't
Into the 3rd century.
it? Yeah. Yeah. It's madness. And the movie that Robin picked for us at the end of this week's wave was a Kenyan movie called Kati Kati.
Yeah.
It's from 2016.
Sure.
It's a 12. It runs for only 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's currently rated at 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. That's pretty high.
That is pretty high.
For one of our movies.
I mean,
really
I
high.
haven't looked. But I'm guessing not watched by a ton of people.
I would agree with that. I will tell you exactly how many people have reviewed it on IMDb. And that number is 145.
Wow. So, I mean, not by many, but those who have seen it
Enjoyed it.
seem to have liked it. Which, yeah, that kind of explains the high rating. Do you want to know how many reviews it has on Letterboxd?
I would love to know how many reviews it has on Letterboxd.
50.
50, even less than IMDb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, not many.
It actually won an award at the Toronto International Film Festival,
Okay.
which is quite a big festival now. It's an up-and-coming one, definitely. It won the Discovery Award, which is an award given to new directors.
Okay.
So it won that, and it's the first movie from Kenya to ever win an award internationally.
Brilliant.
So I thought that was quite interesting. I'm going to butcher some names now. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Good. The film stars a lady called Nyokabi Gethaiga. That's not her name, I wouldn't imagine, but
Fantastic.
that's what I'm going with. Gethaiga? I don't know. She plays Kelechi.
Right.
I do know how to pronounce that because they say it quite a bit in the movie. Elsaphan Njora plays Toma.
Uh-huh.
You might recognise this guy. He's in 3 episodes of Sense8, which was a Netflix
really?
original TV show.
Okay.
So he was in that. So if you watch Sense8, you might recognise him. And you might also recognise a guy called Paul Ogola. He plays Mikey.
Yeah.
He's in 15 episodes of Sense8.
Oh, okay.
And he's also in 7 episodes of Sacred Games, which is another Netflix original TV show.
Nice.
So yeah, there's a bit of a Netflix thing here for this cast. Written by Mugambi Nfiga and Mabifi Masia.
Okay.
And directed by Mabifi Masia also. He was the guy who won the directing award at the Toronto International Film Festival. Do you have a one-word review of Kati Kati?
Have a break. Have a kitty catty.
Nice. Nice.
One thing I wanted to add, sorry for absolutely bringing the level down, was that this movie was produced by Tom Twyker.
Okay. Do I know this guy?
He is a film director, producer, and composer. He directed Run Lola Run.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you produced this?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
interesting.
there you go.
Similarities there, maybe? Female-led movies? That's
Yeah.
the similarity, I guess. Where's this film start, Nick?
There's a woman in a field wearing an owl necklace.
There is indeed. Woman stands alone in field is my first note.
Yeah.
Now, she's kind of confused. She looks very confused.
She's like, why am I in this field?
Why am I standing in this field? I'm sure I wasn't here a second ago. And then she notices what I've classed as a small town in the distance,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was a town. It was more of a...
I put village in my notes, but it seemed to be more like a all-inclusive beach resort.
Like a resort, like a compound resort, maybe. So she walks into this...
I put school ?
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it was a bit of everything. And so she walks into this small town, and the first thing she sees on the wall is a small timetable of events and a list of the residents. So people's names are all over this list. And then the film hits its title card. And when we come back out of the title card, we see some people, I think they're like playing charades.
That's what I got, yeah.
And they stop when they notice Kelechi, this person's called.
Yeah.
And we find out later on. She
walks
walks
through the building and finds these
and
people.
finds these people in the courtyard, which stops them playing. And the first thing she says is, "Where am I?" And then Toma approaches. He says, "Hello, my name is Toma. Welcome to Kati Kati. You're here because you are dead."
Yes.
That is how.
I mean, there's no mystery, to be fair. No. Straight away, we find out what the situation is.
That freaks her out, as it would if somebody said that to you. And she runs. She turns and runs.
She keeps running. She runs through the building.
Back out to where she came from.
And she just keeps running.
Yes.
Until she runs straight into an invisible wall.
She does. It was a bit like an under the dome kind of moment. Yeah. She just hit this invisible wall and flew backwards.
Then she picks up a bone.
Yeah.
Lobs that at this invisible wall. Yeah,
there's for some reason a pile of bones because Kenya. And she just lobs it at the invisible wall. And it bounces back.
Yeah.
And fires towards the people that have followed her out there. Because they're kind of mocking her. For not knowing who she is or where she is.
Yeah, exactly.
To start with.
Well, presumably they'll have all been through this position.
Yeah, exactly.
In the past.
And they take her back inside. They kind of calm her down.
They're like, don't try and run again. You'll hurt
can't
yourself.
Go anywhere. Yeah. And they show her this list of residents on the wall.
And her name has been added.
And her name is now, it's at the top.
But next to the name, it also has what is presumably...
The year you were born and the year you died.
Exactly.
Interesting. Toma starts looking after her.
Yeah.
He kind of takes her under his wing a little bit.
She notes, because he gives her a bit of a tour, so he shows her to her quarters.
Yeah, she's got her own room.
Yes. And she knows she's got a huge scar. She's got a autopsy scar, basically.
Yes.
Down her front.
Yes.
Is what I presumed it was.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's what it was. She asks him if she is in hell.
Yeah.
And he just laughs and kind of says, no. What you need to do is take some rest. You're not in hell, but get some rest. We'll talk about it in the morning.
Yeah.
So the next morning, he comes and greets her, wakes her up, brings her some new clothes, which are far too big for her, massive.
Yes, they all like
not really her style.
They're like, all I'd say is an old lady grandma dress.
Yeah, basically. So they all eat breakfast. There's 12 maybe of these people, 10 to 12 people living in this place.
So Thomas says, come with me. We're going for breakfast.
Yeah. So they sit around. They're all eating breakfast.
Well, just before that, so she's on their way to breakfast. She is Kalechi is distracted by a large man staring at a tree.
Yes.
And she wants to go and talk to him. And Thomas says, no, I'll introduce you later.
Yeah, we can meet everybody later on.
So she goes and gets close to him and stares at this strange man anyway. And then he's later at the breakfast table.
Yes.
And they're all sitting around eating.
They're all eating
fast and furiously.
Yeah, like they're in a rush.
The breakfast.
Yeah. That's probably coming at some
Probably.
point. And then I've written here, there's a weird earthquake thing that they all ignore.
Yeah. Well, no, they eat faster.
Yeah, because something starts happening.
Yeah.
Then she goes outside.
No, hang on. When the earth tremor stops,
yeah,
they look down and all the food's gone off their plate.
Had it?
Yeah.
I didn't spot that. I thought they just...
Which is why they're eating fast.
Oh, okay. So this is like
a like,
timer thing.
Hurry up.
It's like,
yeah.
hurry up, the food's going to disappear.
Yeah.
I thought they'd just finished their dinner.
No.
I apologise.
No, because she had a full, fry up.
And then it just disappeared.
And then when she looked down, it was, she had an empty plate.
Oh, that would be devastating.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine? We've got this lovely fry.
Especially you saved, whatever you
Yeah, you always save the best bit to the end. What's the best bit on a fry up?
Oh.
It's a tough one, that, isn't it?
Oh, genuinely, I think it depends what mood I'm in.
Genuinely, I think it depends on the fry up.
I agree. I really like a good hash brown, but it's hard to get a good hash brown.
Agreed.
You get a good one, that's right up there as a highlight.
Don't you think the hash brown is eaten with something else? Though? If I am having a hash brown, I'm going to eat it with a bit of the sausage at the same time.
Yeah. It's not I don't know if it carries the breakfast, but it's
a good sausage is the best bit of a fried breakfast, I think.
A good sausage.
Yes. But if you get shit sausages, then
it can ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, it can. But same as bacon. If you get shit bacon, it ruins that.
I do bacon.
Crispy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Good breakfast chat.
Good breakfast chat. I really want to fry it.
Yeah, me too. So bad.
Well, this ghost thing has taken it away from us. She goes outside. She meets Mikey. This is the first, apart from Toma, this is the first person she really meets there. He's playing basketball in a graduation outfit.
Yeah. Tom and Mikey say to her, I can't remember which one it is at this point, say, look, it's much easier here if you just don't question everything.
Yeah.
Basically saying, just go with it.
You've just got to go with it. Mikey,
you're dead. What else have you got to worry about?
Mikey says, I died in 1996.
Yeah.
And I've been here for 6 months.
Yes.
Which doesn't add up. It makes no sense.
Because Kalechi died in
2012? Yeah.
Yeah.
And has only just got there. And Toma, I think he's died in 2007 and had been there for over a year.
Yeah.
So the timeline doesn't make any sense. But it's like they say to her, just You've just got to go with it. You can't be asking questions because it will drive you mad. I've written, I feel like somebody should probably explain what's going on because nobody's really telling her what's happening. They're just giving her tidbits of information.
No, but they don't know either.
No, they don't know, but they've been there for a while.
Yeah, so they have. They could have. And I kind of let it go with that because
I did as well. I've just made a comment.
I think someone says to her, people arrive in their own time.
Yeah,
and that's all the explanation it needs.
Time doesn't exist in the afterlife.
What's time?
Exactly. She then gets explained that outside of her room there's a notebook on the door.
Yeah.
And whatever you write in that notebook, you will be given the next day.
Yeah, it'll be outside
your room. So you basically can get anything you want. It's like a wish machine.
Yeah, and Tom says most people ask for things like shoes, records,
new clothes,
books,
anything like that.
Yeah. But
she says, "Can I have people?" And he says, "No, because they would need to be dead. You can't ask for people. Yeah. You can ask for anything. You can't ask for people." Kelechi, though, so at this point that we realise, or the film tells us, that she doesn't remember anything at all.
No, she can't remember her life.
She can't remember her life, and she can't remember her death. She doesn't know how she died or who she was before she died. She has no memory at all. And then the guys are all at a pool party.
Yeah, they're just lounging by this pool.
They're just chilling, as you would. Got nothing to...
Sunbathing, partying.
Mikey jumps into the water and drowns, or nearly drowns.
Yeah, he stays
underwater. So Kelechi screams, runs towards the pool. Tamar jumps in. He saves him, brings him back to the side of the pool. Kelechi gets down, gives him the kiss of life.
She revives him.
Revives him.
And then one of them says, "You almost died," and they all find it hilarious.
They all find it absolutely hilarious because you can't die here. You're already dead. And I think that's the point where Kelechi's like, "Yeah, this is mental. This place is weird." And then Thomas just randomly throws her in the pool.
Yeah, just like, come on,
lighten up, get have some fun. Mikey and Tamar then go and have a heart to heart. They kind of
they drink. Mikey's not in a good place mentally.
No, he's in a slump,
dealing with something. That's all we know at this stage.
Yeah. Kelechi reveals to Tamar that she thinks she used to be a doctor.
Yeah, she's like, I knew exactly what to do.
It was in my instinct to try and save Mikey's life back there.
Yeah, and she says, even when she came out, I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
I just
knew. And it was just instinctively.
Yeah.
She notices that Tamar's got a piano, so they start playing, because he must have asked for one off this notebook. So they start playing the piano together, and she knows the song that he starts playing. Yeah,
she's like, I remember that. I can remember something.
Yeah. My next note then says, Tamar gets pushed over by a man painted white.
I put Tom meets Zombie Tom in field.
Yeah, so was this... I couldn't make out if this was now or if this was Tamar's entrance into the place. It was like a flashback. But I think it was now.
I think it was.
I think it all happened on the same time.
So I took it as this zombie version of Tom was...
I think more ghost than zombie.
Yeah,
I think is Tamar painted white.
Yeah.
But
it was
nobody else can see him.
It was pushing him to deal with
whatever he's got to deal with,
the issue that he needs to make peace with, and it was almost forcing him physically, pushing him to, because they were out in the field. No, back. You go back to the village to deal with whatever it is you've got to deal with. The thing that you've got to deal with. Yeah, and he's scared.
Yeah, he's terrified.
He's petrified.
He's absolutely terrified of something. We don't know what of yet, but of something. Next morning, Kelechi's got some new clothes.
Yeah.
She's got some hot pants and a vest. She looks much better in that.
Mikey's pretty pervy, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's not shy about being pervy. No. He's
he's a young college guy, isn't he? He wears a graduation cloak all the time, so he died obviously at graduation or just before or just after.
I think he said the day before or something.
He's playing basketball again. Kelechi goes and plays basketball with him and helps him again. And she asks him how he died.
Yeah.
And he pulls back the two sweatbands he's wearing on his wrists, and he reveals two very scarred up wrists. And Tamar kind of steps in.
He says, enough.
Enough, yeah. We don't talk about that sort of thing here. Mikey's already in a bad place. We shouldn't be talking about the way he died. So later on, Kelechi goes back and apologises to Mikey for bringing it up. It's not something that should be talked about.
Yeah, and Tom and Mikey argue, and Mikey says to Tom, this place is worse than hell.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah. So when she does the apologising, Mikey kind of gives his backstory and reveals how he died and what was happening in his life at the time.
He says that, I think I've got this right, so he he took his own life,
Yeah.
and then his mum carried him back.
Yeah.
Away from the scene.
It's heavy shit, man.
Yeah. And his regret is that he put her through that, and she had to see that and deal with that, and he's not made peace with his. Well, he didn't have a chance to make peace with his mother.
And he says to Kelechi, "You remind me of my mum because you're quite caring and whatever." And then that night, he kind of sees his mother in like a vision.
I just took it as he got down to pray before bed, and she's there then.
Yeah, she's kind of like
by him
watching over him.
By Mike admitting to Kelechi earlier that I feel like I've got this unresolved thing with my mum. That's put him in touch with her in this sort of spiritual limbo that they're in.
And it helps him out. It brings him out of his slump a little bit because he gets to talk to her. He gets to say to her, "Look,
I'm sorry.
I need to move on. I'm sorry, but I'm not a child. I need to move on. I need to get on with my death, I guess." And he says to my mum, doesn't say anything to my mum. He says to his mum, "You need to let me go.
Yeah,
you need to let me go and let me pass on." That night, a storm.
Oh, what a storm!
And wakes all of them up, and they all gather outside. But Mikey isn't there.
No.
Because Kelechi says to Tama, "What's happening?
Where is he?"
And Tama basically says he's gone.
He goes and checks in his room.
He's not there.
He's moved on.
He's moved on. He's made peace with whatever he needed to make peace with, and he's moved on to whatever's next. They don't know. We don't know.
Nobody knows. By any chance spot? I loved this. I thought it was brilliant. When they went into Mikey's room, there was a poster on the wall, and it was Kit from Knight Rider, right? But so like a TV show poster, but it was called Knight Raider.
Really?
This is just like some knockoff of Knight Rider. I thought it was awesome.
Brilliant. No, I didn't spot that at all. That's nice. But anyway, Mikey's gone now. He's moved on to whatever's next. Nobody knows what's next. Nobody knows where they are even to start with, so they don't know what's going on.
The next note I got is that Toma talks to his zombie.
Yeah, so Kelechi says to Kelechi, "Look, go back to bed, go and get some sleep. We'll talk about it in the morning. I'll explain what's going on." And then the ghost version of Tama comes and asks Tom. He says to him, "Yeah, why are you still here? Yeah, Mikey's moved on. Why can't you move on?"
He's basically been told
here longer than anybody.
You've got everything here now that you need, without giving the twist away.
Yeah,
you've got everything here that you need to deal with your thing and move on. What's stopping you? I'm going to keep coming and bugging you till you do it, basically.
Then this guy plays Tama, gets to do some real acting now because he proper
freaks out.
He starts ripping up Mikey's room, destroying the whole place, screaming, crying. He's having some sort of crazy breakdown. But he gets snapped out of it because he can hear, it's kind of the next morning, he kind of hears one of the ladies that lives there ranting outside. She's kind of ranting.
She was praying,
she was
frantically,
ranting.
frantically.
Yeah, really having a go at God, basically, of what the hell are they doing here? Then Kelechi goes like, "I'm going to go and visit this guy from earlier. He's called King, I think. The big guy that she saw earlier. He's got white hands.
Oh yeah,
he's only his hands are white.
So he's got these like Toma has turned, his ghost is fully white
formed.
Yeah, and King, it just has these white hands.
Yeah, his hands are turning white.
He's a painter.
Yes, he's doing some art when she goes to see him. And she gets a bit of a backstory on him. He reveals that he was a priest in his life.
Yeah.
And he died in a revenge attack on his church in 2007.
Yeah, he says it was in the post-election violence.
Yes.
Which was an actual event in Kenya in 2007.
Was it? Okay.
So
cool. That's nice. And he says to her, "Look, Mikey's gone. We'll all go eventually. Nobody stays here forever."
Yeah, it says we'll all leave.
Yeah.
And
then he abruptly asks her to leave.
Yes, but we see other people are now in this house.
In this house with him.
And they're all church people.
Yeah, they've all got gowns. It's like a choir.
Yeah.
They all could suddenly appear in this room. Kelechi can't see them, but he certainly can, and he certainly freaks out and asks her to leave his room.
He says something like, "I've got something I need to deal with. Yeah. Can you please leave?"
Then they have that night they have a party because
a goodbye party for Mikey.
They always party when somebody passes on. This is the time to celebrate their life, I guess. And then we get the twist. That gets revealed now.
Yeah.
Tomo's got some pictures. What's he got some pictures of?
He's got an envelope.
Yep.
And it's got a load of stuff in it, including an obituary for Kalechi.
Yes.
And he starts flicking through these papers, and you can actually see the first couple of lines of the obituary, which says that she died in a road accident.
Yeah.
And he keeps flicking through, and he's got pictures of her.
Yeah.
And him.
Of the two of them together.
Presumably in life.
Yes.
Happy couple.
Happy couple. Which means also that he died after her. So this, again, explains why this timeline doesn't work as well.
He's got a whole file on her, basically.
Yeah. She reveals to Toma at this point that her shoulder's turning white.
Yes.
She's already getting a bit of white.
She said, how long
does this sort of thing take? What's going on? Oh, no, she shows it to King, not to Toma. And King says, look, keep that to yourself. Don't show anybody that. Because
he says it's counting down to when you get to move on.
Yeah.
And he tells her that she needs to remember who she was.
Yeah, she shouldn't move on until she remembers who she was. So you need to work on that, basically. Then they have an arty paintball fight.
I put a colour rush.
Yeah.
Montage.
Yeah, it's not like paintball guns. It's paintball. Their hands are full of paint thrown at each other. They're basically all just doing that. It looks really pretty, actually. And then she shows Toma her shoulder. And she tells him what King says. Yeah. And Toma freaks out a little bit, and he confronts King. They have a bit of a argy-bargy.
Well, he says, why are you getting involved?
Yeah,
what are you gaining?
What are you telling?
And I think Toma is angry because King has put into Kalechi's mind that, my time's coming to an end here. I'm not going to be there very long. And Toma, obviously, for reasons we now understand, wants her to stay there.
Yeah, for as long as he can.
Presumably, somehow try and
keep her there forever.
Yeah, reignite their relationship.
So Toma reveals to Kalechi King's true story, what really happened in King's death. Because he says, this man let all of his parishioners die. Outside. He didn't let them into the church.
Yeah,
and then violence. He died in a revenge attack for that.
Yeah.
Somebody came back and attacked him because he let
the king says that's not true.
Yeah.
But I think
you can judge by the fact that he's being haunted by his parishioners, the fact that it might be true, because from this point on now, he's now painting in his room, and there's a choir going on behind him singing, which is freaking him out a little bit. And he shouts at them, and he's freaking out at them, and they just.
He says, "I couldn't save you all. Yeah, I couldn't save you all."
From that, we can confirm that what Toma said is true, and this king is not maybe the best guy.
Yeah, but he's saying, "I died because of you all. Have I not suffered enough?"
Yes. And then he kind of walks off into the night, whilst being followed by this choir that nobody else can see.
Yeah.
So Kalechi sees him. She's like sees him just wandering off into the forest, I guess, wooded area, brush. So she follows him a little bit. And Toma sees her. And then the next thing we see is her waking up in bed, because Toma tells her that she'd knocked herself out in the follow or in the chase.
So is that true, or had he knocked her out and dragged her back to the bed?
The implication was that he didn't want her to follow King.
Yeah.
And Toma says, look, King gave in. He got what he deserved. He's gone now. And then he kisses her.
They do a kiss.
They do a kiss, a little bit more than a kiss.
I thought they do the sex.
They do a bit,
but
naughty.
It turned out they didn't.
No, because he stops.
Yeah, he got an attack of the guilt.
Yeah, he does. He stops. He moves away from her. He kicks her out of the room, and he says, and then his ghost version appears to him in a vision again.
I like this line. It's like, talk about telling it like it is. He says, "Whatever we touch turns to shit."
Yeah, it does.
You need to tell her.
You need to tell her. You've got to tell her. Then we're at a group therapy session. So they're all sitting around with a therapist kind of talking about their troubles, as you do in death.
Sharing why they think they're there, I guess is the point of it.
And somebody hands Kalechi a package, an envelope, which he opens.
It's the envelope.
And it's the envelope. So Toma has not revealed what's happened, but somebody has now revealed it in front of him, that they were married in life. He didn't want her to know, because he didn't want her to know that he killed her.
Yeah.
He was a drunk driver and killed her in a drunk driving accident.
Yeah.
He reveals that to her at this point, and she
wails on him.
She beats him up. That's what happens. She beats him up. The ghost version of him says, "Look, you're done. You're done. You just need to give up.
Yeah.
There's no saving you now." That night, Toma goes to see her. They're kind of
storm's gathering.
Yeah, there's a storm gathering. She's lying on the bed. He lies on the bed with her. Tries to talk. They're not talking, and then the rest of the group come in and just like grab him and pull him away from her.
So they want banish him.
But yeah, basically, exactly. They want to get rid of him because of what he's done. They want him to go. Kelechi interrupts this, stops this from happening, and kind of grabs him and comforts him.
They're kind of on the porch, which is the exit from the commune that King walked out earlier.
Yeah.
And Kelechi's hands have now turned white.
Yeah, hands have now turned white.
And she comforts Toma.
Yeah.
And I think, you have a bit of a flashback where they're remembering.
Yeah, she kind of remembers her life at this point, I think.
And I took from this that kind of, basically she was, if not full on, then starting to forgive him.
Yeah.
And that meant that he felt he could move on.
Yeah, which he does. He cries in her arms and then we never see him again because there's a montage of a big storm coming.
Yeah.
And then there's a party. So we know somebody's moved on because that's what happens, a storm, then a party. And then we cut to them having this party and we see a man walking through the compound in similar garb to what Kelechi was wearing at the beginning, like a pale blue schmock. Schmock? Schmock and a pancake?
Sure.
And Kelechi welcomes him. She says, "Welcome to Kati Kati."
And she now seems to sort of be the de facto leader.
Yeah, she's taken over from wherever Tomar left. She says...
And they all sort of bet, is he going to be a runner?
Yeah. So she says to him, "Welcome to Kati Kati. My name is Kelechi. You are dead." This is how they greet people. I feel like they need a better way of doing it, but this is how they do it.
You might want to soften the blow a little bit.
Just a little bit, because he does exactly what Kelechi did at the beginning. He turns, he bolts, the rest of them run after him. And Kelechi's left standing in this area on her own. And she turns around and there is a ghost version of herself just dancing by the fire.
And what did you make of this ending? Because I was kind of think, well, okay, this is the first time she's seen her ghost, so she is getting ready to move on now.
Yes, I think so.
But what's the only bit I wasn't quite clear on, what's the sort of task she's got to allow her to fully go?
Yeah, it wasn't clear, was it? I mean, when Tomar moved on, obviously his ghost went with him.
Yeah.
And now she has this passenger, I guess, with her, but it doesn't really say what needs to happen for her to move on.
Yeah.
But I guess just be in charge of this camp until it's time to go.
I don't know if it was possibly to fully forgive Tomar.
Maybe.
But it can be whatever.
Tomar's ghost was always very forward and aggressive with Tomar, whereas this, when we see Kelechi's ghost, she's happy, free, dancing around the fire. Yeah. And that's how the movie ends. So I guess it's the opposite to what Tomar had. She has no worries.
She's not got qualms about moving.
Burdened down by any. No.
Whereas Tomar was like, she's
I can't
here.
move on until Kelechi's ready
to make amends with her.
Yeah, she doesn't have. But I think it basically was saying she's free. She has no worries. She can do whatever she wants. She can go whenever she's ready.
Yeah.
I think that's where it was going, because that's where the film ends.
Yeah.
We have no further scenes to tell us. What did you think of this movie, Nick?
Surprisingly, I think for me, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I actually found it quite affecting at times.
I agree. I think it's really affecting. I think it gives you a lot to think about in such a small space of time.
Yeah.
Because it's only on for 75 minutes.
And it didn't feel short.
No, it didn't.
But it felt like a proper movie, even though it was only an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think any longer, maybe it didn't need to be any longer. It couldn't have been any short, but I don't think it needed to be any longer to tell its story.
No.
But I think it told its story really well in the time that it had.
And it obviously gone.
Because it felt quite slow paced as well.
Yeah, it didn't feel
rushed at all.
It didn't. That's the better way to put it. It didn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
Even though it is only a short movie. And I think how it did that so well was because we see that there are 10 to 12 people in this resort, but we are only ever focused on 4 of them.
4, yeah. We don't even find out the names of any of the others, I don't think.
I think Grace is the person who delivers the envelope, but yeah, they're there and they're there all the time.
Yeah.
So you feel the presence, but we only focus on Kelechi, Tomar, King, and Mikey.
Yeah.
And the others are there in the background, and that works really well. And the story for those 4 is well told.
Yes.
Fleshed out.
Yeah.
And quite absorbing, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't shed a tear, but I sat back and I was like, oh wow, that's really.
I think
That's hit something somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. It's not something that's a story that I've ever really come across before. It's a movie about the afterlife or how you move on to the afterlife, but told really well. It just felt like I knew this world, and they never really explained what it was because they didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was with them there, and I could understand what had happened.
It didn't need any more than saying you're here until it's time for you to leave.
Yeah, it's basically a purgatory.
Yeah, till you've come to terms with something
with your life and your death, and you can.
And it didn't need.
While you're here, you can have whatever you want. You can have all your dreams, whatever you want. Just write it on this notepad, and it is yours.
Yeah.
But then when it's time to go, you have to go, and we're not going to tell you where you're going or what happens when you do go.
You can't. You have to work it out.
You have to work it out for yourself. Why you're going and why you're ready and what happens after. That's never explained. Nobody knows. And I thought it was really well told in such a small time. I thought the characters were really well rounded. I thought the film was really well written. I just think everything in it really worked for me.
And I think the acting was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Those four were all really good.
Yeah.
Those four characters, really good.
Yeah, they really were. And it's not like anything I've ever seen before. It doesn't feel like a bottom of the stream movie because they're usually silly or they're usually rubbish or they're usually really good. Whereas this is none of those things. But at the same time, it is a really good film.
I can count on one hand. I might only need a couple of fingers to count in the 201 movies we've seen how many have actually made me come a little bit emotional and actually feel feelings.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And this made me feel some feelings.
It made me feel some feelings.
Yeah.
And, don't usually have feelings.
And it looked really good as well.
Yeah, it did.
You could tell this is not an expensive movie, but they did really well with what they had. I thought the makeup for the ghost versions was.
It was just powder. It was paint powder, but it just
really works.
You could tell what they were doing with it.
Universe.
It never got explained, and it never needed explaining because you could tell what was happening.
Yeah,
you knew what these people were and who these ghosts were, and what they were doing and why they were there, without them ever explaining any of it.
Yeah,
and I think that's a real credit to that. You can see why that director won that award. I think it's a real credit to him.
And
to do it must be such a low budget movie. Yeah. There's no money been spent on this movie.
Oh, totally.
There's 12 people in it at the very most. In one location for the whole, and that's it. There's no props, there's no effects, there's nothing.
You really feel like it's like they found this location and we can just work with whatever's here.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, there's a piano in this room. We'll do a bit on the
piano. It's an abandoned. It felt like it was like an abandoned holiday resort,
or an out of season
holiday resort, or maybe it was. I don't know, and 10 people and 2 cameramen and a director. I imagine that's all that was. And it was just, I don't know, it just felt like a really well-made movie for the tiny budget it must have been made from.
That sticks to its lane, knows what it
exactly
can achieve with the money and the facilities that it's got. And it's executed really well.
Yeah, this is a really strong start for this season.
Yeah.
This is going to be up and around there towards the end.
I'm going to remember this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And... yeah, I think there was something there when I was about to start it, and I was just like, just the preconception.
Agreed. It's not the
like,
sort of
I don't know if I'm really I'm not really excited about watching this, but I forgot about that really quick.
Within the first 5 minutes, as soon as she was walking into that town, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
I don't know
what's coming, but I'm in.
And that's why I'm so glad this show exists, because I would have never gone.
No, you'd never.
Anywhere near.
And no, I wouldn't. Even if I'd have seen it on Netflix, which I probably wouldn't have done anyway. I probably still wouldn't have. I still would have avoided it. I'd have been like, "Oh, that poster's pretty cool. All right, what's next?" But because the poster is really cool, but I'm really glad I've seen it.
Yeah,
because it's a really good story.
Yeah, I don't know if it's got enough of a complete package to be. I mean, this film 1 out of 25. Who knows?
Yeah,
to be right up there at the end of the season. But I am going to think fondly of this movie. Yeah. I can tell that already.
Agreed. It'll be there or thereabouts. Not necessarily at the top, but there'll be many weeks where we have to talk about this movie in the stream table, in the discussions.
Yeah, and the fact that it's not perfect and it is a bit rough around the edges, but it still makes you feel something.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, like I say, that's rare for a movie we see.
Yeah, it is completely.
So, I really liked it.
I really liked it as well, and for many reasons.
I'm really glad you liked it.
Good.
I'm not. This isn't an insult. I wasn't sure if you'd like it.
No, I completely get that. It isn't. I have this reputation for really liking terrible movies, but I actually do like good movies.
I know
too.
you do. Yeah.
So I can appreciate a bad movie, but I can also appreciate when something's good, and this is a good film.
Yeah,
this as simple as that. This is a good film,
and it makes you think. There's potential here. Like you say, I know a couple of those actors have been in Sense8, but there's no.
That would have been after.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
These are all complete unknowns that have made this movie.
You can see that it's really low, but it's ultra low budget, but there's talent here. Talent behind the camera, there's talent in front of the camera.
Yeah, the lady who played Kelechi was brilliant.
Yeah,
really, really. She looked so confused all the way through it until she wasn't, and it just when she got changed and she had her own clothes, something changed in that character.
Yeah,
and made it stronger, and it was just really clever how they did it so simply. And the guy who played Tama, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was really good. What's the best thing about it?
I think it is the acting.
It is. It's all of what we've just said.
Because they're all strong. Those 4 leads are all strong.
Yeah, really strong.
In different ways. But, good. Really good acting performances.
The directing's brilliant as well. The directing of this is really good because it looks beautiful all the way through. There's something about the film that you can tell that it's set in an afterlife. Just by looking at it,
it's a little bit hazy. But it's not. I
couldn't put my finger on what it was.
Is it?
I can't put my finger on what it was, but there's something there that make you know this isn't right. This world.
There's a couple of bits in there when Toma and Kelechi are starting to have sex.
Yeah, and
it's only there for a few frames, but at some points he's Toma, and at some points he's Ghost Toma, and it's just. I was like, oh, that's a bit weird, a bit unnerving, and it's like. It has got a bit of that uneasiness around it as well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just, it's good.
What would you change about it?
I think it's really easy. I don't know if I should say this.
To make it longer.
No. I think this would make it lose its charm. I don't know if this is what I would change, but I would be interested to see this movie with these people in, with this director, with 4 times the budget.
Yeah, just to see what you could have done.
Could do. But I think there's a real risk then you lose what this movie is.
There's a real charm to this movie, and you run the risk of losing that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot I would change about it.
As a low budget 75-minute movie, you can't tell me you can do much more with 75 minutes. They maximise the running time of this movie.
And like I said earlier, it never feels rushed either.
No.
It feels perfectly paced.
It's a deliberate pace.
It tells its story in the small time that it has.
Yeah.
And it tells it really well.
So
we've probably raved about this one.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
It's a great start to season 9.
Yeah.
Strong start.
Yeah.
This is the point where we'd normally talk Stream Table, but obviously it's the only film, so we can't put it in. Where would it have gone in last season's Stream Table?
I think it's...
Do you want me to bring up last season's Stream Table?
Yeah, just by point of comparison. I think it's... I think it's top 5. I think it's higher than Blasted. I think it's top 5.
I think it's top 5. The top 5 last season's are really strange now because a few Futile and Stupid Gestures quite low down.
I think I have it 5th if we were putting it in last season's table.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
Yeah,
maybe pushing higher because maybe a Futile and Stupid Gestures should be higher, and you're kind of loath to put it above that a little bit. But yeah, it's top 5 in last season for definite. Wonder where it'll end up in this season.
Yeah, well, it's at the top for now.
It's at the top and the bottom for now. Right, should we pick next week's?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's going to be a short episode because we've not got a Stream Table discussion to have.
And this is quite a short movie.
And it
is...
We have raved about it for 20 minutes, but it is a short movie.
It's a tight movie, and...
It feels like not a lot happens, but then everything happens in this movie that needs to happen. But it's...
And what is time? Time's not anything in this movie.
When we're talking about it, things happen, and I can just say, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. But I'm not really giving you what actually happened in the movie. You need to go out and watch it.
Well, you've got a few montages in this movie that are not padding. It would be harsh to say they're padding.
Yeah, it's not padding. It's necessary.
The colour rush type montage goes on for a bit. The storms and
the bit with King where he's being chased by his choir, that sort of thing. But all of it's necessary and all of it's there. Right, should we call on Robin?
Let's do it.
What do you want from episode 2?
I'm an open book.
Me too.
At this early stage in the season.
Whatever it's going to be something very different to this film.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We're not going to get anything similar. So it'll be fun to play them against each other next week. You ready for me to call on Robin?
I am.
It has picked a movie called Sweet Girl.
Okay.
Any ideas what Sweet Girl is?
I don't.
According to IMDb, it is an action drama thriller from 2021.
Okay.
Runs for an hour and 50 minutes. Do you want a synopsis?
Yes, please.
Devoted family man Ray Cooper vows justice against the pharmaceutical company responsible for pulling a potentially life-saving drug from the market just before his wife dies of cancer. But when his search for the truth leads to a deadly encounter that puts Ray and his daughter Rachel in harm's way, Ray's mission turns into a quest for vengeance in order to protect the only family he has left.
I love how some synopses are like so short and sweet. Like this one for Kati Kati was when you read it out on Monday. And that's just...
To be fair, there's 2 on IMDb, and that's I've read out the Netflix synopsis. Okay. There is a short one that just says a devastated husband vows to bring justice to the people responsible for his wife's death, whilst protecting the only family he has left, his daughter.
Okay.
The father and daughter called Ray and Rachel. That's weird.
Okay.
Do you want to know who plays the father in this movie, Nick?
Yes, please.
Jason Momoa.
Oh, amazing! He's not been on the show. Has he been on the show before?
Yes.
Yes, he was in The Bad Batch, wasn't he? He was a cannibal hillbilly desert dweller, wasn't he?
He was
Muscle man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also stars Isabella Merced. You know who that is?
No.
Dora the Explorer.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie as well.
The live action one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
that's
movie.
who she is. Cool. So go out and watch Sweet Girl. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. Our username is @BOTS_podcast on all of those. If you want to drop us an email, our email is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
basketball.
Why not?
Because in the movie they play basketball.
They did, yeah. I really want one.
I would love one.
A Bottom of the Stream basketball.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
My kids love playing basketball.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Let's get one. We'll find out. We'll get one made and get one for your kids. After you've done all of that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. We're going to get better at bonus episodes this season.
100%.
I think we only did one all of last season. You will get, if you come in at the top level, a wild card, which means that you can pick the movie that we watch. And if you pick the best one of the season, you will win a prize.
We also probably need to mention that last year season's wildcard winner was Ross Cook.
It was indeed.
And he has chosen a prize.
He has chosen a prize, which
we will reveal
all
at
soon.
some point soon when we've organised when we're going to do it.
When we've organised it. So do all of that. And then when you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord is a wonderful group of wonderful people. We have loads of cool times in Discord. We have lots of fun chats about all sorts of cool stuff. We play games, we talk about Netflix, we talk about movies, we slag off Netflix quite a lot. We talk about all sorts, Taskmaster, Ted Lasso, everything. We do watch-alongs in there. The occasional Sunday, we'll all get together and just watch a movie together. It's great. We did the Botscars Live in there. We're going to do loads of other cool live stuff in there. There is no better time than now to join our Discord. And if you want to do that, the Discord link is at the bottom of the show notes.
And above all that, you'll just make some proper good friends.
Friends for life. I've made friends for life in that Discord.
All over the world.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And just, there's always someone there to talk to for whatever you need.
Anything.
I can't speak highly enough of the Discord.
It's wonderful. Get in there now.
Yeah.
I think that's my bit done, so now it's time for your bit.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a review or rating anywhere you can review and rate podcasts. We're on all of those places. They are places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser.
Listen Notes. They published my interview again this week. Did you see it?
Yes, I did see that.
Excellent.
Because you told me. Well, I've read it before.
Yes.
Yeah, go and check out Listen.
I don't know why they published it again. They sent it out on an email blast to all of their members. I was
amazing.
wow, I'm like famous now. It's cool.
What's an email blast?
It's when you message all of your email subscribers at the same time.
Yeah, but what's a blast?
You blast the message out. I don't know.
Is this like... Because it seems quite aggressive.
I think it's like management
press
talk.
send and there goes the email. It's like, you're not going to be like...
I can imagine my boss coming up to me going, blast an email out to all the managers, all the subscribers. Blast it out now.
Fine. Yeah, check us out there.
Yep. Do it. Check us out anywhere you can.
Anywhere, yeah. If you happen to look for us on somewhere we're not, tell us and we'll get on there.
Absolutely. Come into the Discord and let us know and we'll get on there ASAP. This is going to be a great season. If this film's anything to go by...
I tell you what.
We're going to have a fun time this year.
I mean, I've not gone back, obviously, in the last 45 minutes to look at what were the first episodes of each previous season.
Cleanse last season.
But this feels strong for a first episode.
Yeah, it does. I can name a few. I couldn't name them all.
Yeah, I can name a few.
The Cleanse was one.
iBoy.
Take Me.
Yes.
Michael Inside.
Yes.
The Open House, obviously. The Cleanse.
You've said that about 4 times.
Okay. The Cleanse was one. That's about it. That's my.
I think this might be better than all of those.
Yeah, might be. Might be the best opening film we've ever done.
Maybe.
Unverified, but might be.
Could be. Go and do the work if you want.
If you want to go and do the work. And then when you've done that, come back here on Monday for another episode of The Wave. And then come back next Thursday for us to talk about Sweet Girl.
Sweet Girl. Not Sweet Tooth.
Not Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Girl.
Not...
Don't watch the wrong thing.
Not New Girl.
No.
Sweet Girl.
Sweet
Girl.
Girl.
Say cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.